So first, you're going to hold on to just the corner, and when you are grabbing this, just make sure that you've already sanitized your hands, so you know your hands are clean. You're gonna pull the pad off like so. I'm not gonna touch this area here because that's gonna lessen the stickiness, and we do want our pads to be as sticky as possible. So I'm only touching just the corners and along the sides for putting my pads on. Now, there's two options here. We can place the pads with our eyes open, or we can place the pads with our eyes closed. So I'm gonna do two examples. One eye I'm going to place with her eye open and the other with her eye closed. And the reason why you wanna know both is because it's a lot easier to do it with the eye open in the beginning, but if a client is sensitive and you open her eyes and make her look at light, or just in general, she's new to the service, it can be really hard on them, and their eyes can water, which means the pads are not gonna stick, and it's just really awful for everyone. But if our clients are okay with opening their eyes, then you're gonna say, okay, open up and look up. So can you do that, Jill? Look up. Again, it's really important to get your client to look up because we need to be able to see that whole lash line. So next, I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna pull on the side just to make sure that there's no little lashes intertwined on those sides. So I'm gonna just make sure they're not stuck together. And I can use both fingers like so. Now, I'm gonna take my iPad, holding like this. I'm gonna come in perpendicular to the eye and kind of line up where I want it to go. So I'm holding right in the middle of the pad, keeping it sturdy, and I have my hands, both fingers, holding the eye. I'm coming in around, lining it up, and I'm not laying it down yet. A lot of people think that they immediately have to start laying the pad down. That's not what we're doing. Coming in, again, perpendicular to the eye, on a very sharp angle, and finding where we want the pad to go. And then once we've lined it up, we're going to let go of our finger on both, or just on one. We can move our finger around, pulling in the areas that you need. So again, like so. Now that I've lined it up, I still have a finger underneath. I've placed it, but the pad's still up on this side. So now I'm holding it into place on the top and then brushing it down. And you can say, you can close your eyes, and then you can adjust the pads if necessary. Again, holding it into place, stay closed, holding the pad into place. You always stay in control. It's a really floppy material, and if you let go, the pad's just not gonna work. So you can check to make sure all those bottom lashes are covered by lifting the lid. If you're looking to see under this area, you're gonna pull this, like opposite the area you want to see. Pull it away, not much, just enough. Pull it away, and you can also see the layers this way, so it's good for you to examine your client's lashes like this. Like so. And if there are any lashes that are stuck underneath the pad, on the outer corners especially, there can be some guys hiding, and this can really throw off your set. But just make sure that none of those are there. But if they are, you can take your tweezers and just kind of glide along and pull those guys out. So she has a pretty ideal eye shape for eye pads, but some people, especially those with very deep set eyes, the pads just don't really fit nicely. So we may have to move the pads around for those clients. So I'm just gonna run you through how to do that as well. So let's say we're working on that outer corner. So we can just cover the outer corner when we're working on those lashes. We can just cover the middle when we're working on those, and just the inners when we're working on the inners. And this also helps lessen the likelihood of sensitivities or reactions to the pads because they're not sitting in the same area the entire time, causing irritation. So let's say we're working only on those outer corners. We're gonna take our pad, we're gonna lift just the outer corner, and we're only gonna work with the very top part of our pad. So I'm lifting, pulling, just covering. Again, you're not putting the pad in her eye, it's just going along the lash line. So you should never go into the waterline at all. It'll cause a gelatin, and that's what causes irritation to our clients. So you can see it's just covering those lashes there, you could get those out of the way, and then you can move to the middle, which is basically like your regular pad placement, or you can again just tilt it to the side however you have to, just keeping control over your pad. Again, notice that I'm holding in so many different spots, giving myself control, letting go. Now I'm only working on these middle lashes. Again, look at where I'm holding, pulling opposite the direction that I'm looking to see. Now, when I'm working on the inners, it's going to look like it's in her eye. So if I'm just looking to cover those few little lashes in there, then if I left it there for a long time, I would irritate her eyes, but you can even turn it on an angle like so, and just cover those couple lashes in there. This is not gonna stay there for a long time. You're getting, we'll say 4 or 5 little lashes, but it is an option as well. So just knowing that you can really move the pad around, it does not have to stay perfectly on that lash line. You can really play around with it. You are in control, and you have to do what is necessary to make sure that we keep our clients safe, but also we're able to really see those lashes. So let's say that Jill has sensitive eyes to light. She can't look at the light or her eyes are gonna water. So I'm going to actually open her eyes for her like this and pull the lid down. Again, hold my pad like so and find the lash line and lay my pad in there. Definitely a little more advanced, not for everyone in the beginning, but it is something to do in the future, and it is a good thing to push yourself to learn, because this is actually really beneficial while you're working as well. Like I've shown before, you can move your pad all over, and you have to do that with the eye closed. So you should know this technique as well. Practice, practice, practice. Don't be discouraged if you don't get it in the beginning. It does take quite a lot of practice and a lot of comfort. Don't be afraid to rest your hands all over your client's face, because you do need that stability and that control in order to lay the pads perfectly.